All right, so I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Let me start by welcoming everyone to another edition of TCRM Conversations by Sobasi. And this happens to be the 21st edition. And we're going to be talking about commerce in Cross River State. So TCRM Conversation is an initiative of the Cross River movement, and it's aimed at bringing people together, Cross Riverians, lovers of Cross River State, to discuss and exchange ideas that would foster the development of Cross River State. So today we have some, distinguished guests with us, whom I will introduce shortly. But before I do that, I will just go over a few ground rules as they apply to this conversation, which happens to be, is going to be streamed on Sparkling FM 92.3. So everyone except the facilitator and the guest should be muted while the event is in progress. I don't think that's been effected yet. I will do that so we don't get any mischievous actors trying to interfere with what we're doing. What else do we have? Okay, so if you have a question to ask or you have a comment to make and you're on the Zoom call with us, just use the reactions button, the reactions icon to indicate that you would like to make a comment or you'd like to ask a question, and we'll give you the opportunity to do that. If you're on Zoom, please make your comments, civil and respectful. This event is being streamed live on YouTube, on X, and on Facebook as well. And anyone on those platforms, please feel free to leave your comments. During the course of this meeting, our YouTube channel link will be shared in the comments section. One of the ways you can support TCRM is by subscribing to and hitting the bell icon so that you get notifications whenever we release a new video. Like I said earlier, this is being streamed on Sparkling FM 92.3. So people listeners in Calabar can tune in as well. And if you have a question or a comment, you can WhatsApp it to 0806-756-6448. I repeat the number, it's 0806-756-6448. Don't call the number, but please send your questions or comments to that number and we will read them out on the event. So if you'd like to propose a topic for a future conversation, please feel free to, to let us know, and would really love to hear your views. Okay, so without much ado, we shall, go on. So today we're going to be talking about commerce in Cross River State, and we've got the Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, Honorable Dr. Mrs. Abigail Duke Orok here with us. We also have the chairman of Calabar Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, Mr. David Etim. And we also have the director of Canaan Global Business School, Mr. John Collins, today. So join me, please, in welcoming all three guests here today. I think we'll just jump in. My first question will go to the Honorable Commissioner to just educate us on commerce. So what exactly is commerce, and what exactly does the Ministry of Commerce in Cross River State do? Over to you, madam.
It's okay. Thank you very much. Good afternoon once again. Thank you for having me.
Commissioner, can you hear me? All right, so we'll give the commissioner some time to maybe settle a bit, because I think she's actually on the highway in Cross River State, and she has said to us that there may be some portions, some sections of the road where the audio may not be, where the network may not be great, and that would affect it. Commissioner, are you back? with us? No? Okay, in that case, Mr. David Etim, maybe I will invite you to share your thoughts being the president of the Calabar Chamber of Commerce. Maybe you can share with us, because obviously the chamber is a chamber of commerce. So what is the role of commerce in Cross River State, and what's the role of the chamber? I think first of all, tell us about your chamber and the role it plays in promoting the development of commerce and the economy in Cross River State.
Thank you very much, Esau. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, yes.
Excellent. Okay, thank you very much, Esau. Well, firstly, the role of chambers. A chamber of commerce is actually a business members organization. What does that really mean? You can't, strictly speaking, ipso facto, you are not, only businesses are members of chamber. David Etim cannot be a member of chamber. David Etim's business can be a member of chamber, and then David represents the business in the chamber. Now, what is the purpose of a chamber of commerce? A chamber of commerce is principally meant to advocate and for the interests of the business community in the jurisdiction where it operates. Now, what is commerce? Well, when I say advocate for, the advocacy is for the improvement of the business environment. So whether it is funding, whether it is ease of doing business, whether it is electricity, whatever that is inhibiting the smooth flow of commerce, of businesses in that jurisdiction, it is the chamber's responsibility to advocate for the relief of those constrictions, basically. Now, how can chamber impact, or what is commerce? I think you asked that question. What is commerce? Well, commerce is the lifeblood of every community. It's a lifeblood because it's commerce that moves money from one hand to the other. There is a joke of some guy who, walked into a bar and bought drinks. Now, everybody in that town was owing everybody. So he comes into the town and he goes into a bar and he orders drinks for about $100 and pays the $100. Now, the barman is owing the man that supplied him drinks $100. So the barman takes the $100, goes to the man that supplied him drinks and gives him the $100. I've liquidated. The man that supplies the drinks is owing somebody who provided meat $100, and he takes that same $100 and gives it to that person. Now, and that goes round until the entire community touches that man's $100, and everybody has gotten paid. And then at some point, the $100 comes back to the man again. Now, that is what commerce is. It circulates. It's the lifeblood of any community. So, what's the impact of the Chamber of Commerce in Cross River State? I say it has not been what it should be, but I can assure you it's getting better, and we.
David. Okay, looks like Mr. David Etim has a challenge. Okay, while we're waiting for him, what I'm going to do, I'm going to share a video. So this is Vox Pop. So we had our volunteers go out on the streets to find out from people what they felt about commerce in Cross River State. So this should give us a flavor of how people felt on the road, on the streets.
Greetings from Cross River Movement. My name is Abigail Esther Osa, a volunteer for Cross River Movement. Again, today we're in the streets of Calabar to do a vox pops and to ask for the opinion of traders in the states, to know their challenges and how business has been for them all through the years of being in Cross River State, and to know how the government of Cross River State can try to come into the business administration of the state and make it work for them. Please do come with me. All right, good evening.
Good evening.
How is business going?
Fine.
Okay, so I want you to tell me about the challenges you face as a business owner in Cross River State.
Okay, first of all, the challenges I'm facing is one, lack of capital. Two, another challenge I face is competition. There is a high rate of competition here in the market.
Business in Cross River State is okay. It's just that things are on the high side, especially now that I don't know if dollar has gone down, but things are really hard. Things are really, really expensive.
The only challenge that we seem to experience now is because of, as a result of high cost of production or commodity, a lot of customers could not afford to pick as usual. So because of that, as it's affecting the consumers in terms of finance aspect of it, it's also affecting us who are the sellers of the products.
Okay, so what do you think government can do to help in your businesses in Cross River State?
The only thing that government can do is that if they will give, even if it's loan to the roadsiders, because they are telling us to leave the road and go inside the market, in which there's no space there. So everybody are on the road, so they should just allow us to sell for the period of time and also bring down the ticket. Is too much on us.
I no get husband, I no get mama, I no get papa. I dey sell for main road. Now they pursue. They say I should not sell for main road. Now when I come out for 5 o'clock, I dey pay ticket 700. Make government help us, make we sell. Myself, carry feed my children. I no go thief. Carry the eat too.
Anything they can help us. As now they pursue us for a road that we don't have any place to stay and sell the business and sell the market. So anything they can help us to provide us with some small money, if they will be able to help us.
Under this new government, that's the government of Prince Otu. For now, we have not yet been assessed. So I wouldn't say that tax government policy in terms of tax is affecting the business owners here in White Market. Perhaps it might have happened in the street, but for in the market, we had no challenge of any kind with regards to tax.
Welcome back from the streets. Now we heard the views of people in Cross River State about their business and how it goes around here, and we now know how the government can now fit into their aid. Thank you very much.
All right, so thank you to our TCRM media department volunteers. So we really appreciate them going out on the streets to interact with people on this subject. Okay, hopefully, Commissioner, I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if you're in a place where you can now participate. So please let us know if you're able to speak.
Oh, quite well.
Okay, all right. Okay, so thanks very much, madam. So if you can, please just tell us about the Ministry of Commerce. Maybe you can explain to us what the Ministry of Commerce does for those who don't know.
It's okay. Like the president of Calcima explained that commerce is about trading, exchanging goods for money. That is what commerce is all about. Trading, doing business. Whatever you exchange for money, when the goods parts from you, you get money for in return. That is trading. It is the live wire of any economy, buying and selling. That is commerce, that is business. Then the Ministry of Commerce as a ministry is to facilitate, business, doing business. We are to facilitate the ease of doing business. One of our core mandates is to provide an ease of doing business within the states. So we have gone out of our way. We work with the organized private sector. That is the chambers. We've been able to meet with Calabar Chamber of Commerce. We have met with Idim Chamber of Commerce. We have met with Exporters Association So to fill their pulse, what are the challenges they have faced in the state over time? So since we came in, we have done that. We have also listened to them, and we have also gotten their challenges. Ours is to profile solutions within our means to ensure that those challenges becomes a thing of the past. Then we have also gone out of our ways for the first time in history to meet with the informal sector of the economy. We had interfaced early this year with the informal traders within Calabar. We had made with a group umbrella body, commodities associations or market associations in Calabar within the Southeast Central District. They have well over 30 associations registered with them. So we met with their different executives. We put them together. We organize like a lunch, a meeting with them, where we also listen to them and understand their challenges, and think of how we will provide solutions to those challenges that we have done. They also told me that it has never happened in the history of Cross River State that the government should call them together and try to listen, understand with them what are their challenges. So in the course of interfacing with them, they also complain of the issue of multiple taxation or high rates of fees collections in the markets by revenue agents. So we had to step into action, and by God's help, our listening governor, the people's governor of Cross River State, distinguished Senator Bassey Otu, was able to listen to the cry of the people. We started first with Ikai Kakwa markets, and he's been able to reduce the tickets payments in the market. They had told me they used to pay from 1,800 a day, and the governor, in his magnanimity, has reduced it to 300 naira a day. So I didn't believe it as a person. Not that I don't believe in my government, but I wanted them to tell the world that it's a fact, it is true. So I had to cause the chairman of Mara Market to go and put it into writing, the appreciation into writing, which he did, to appreciate the government of Bassey Otu for intervening in their situation. So he put up the formal letter to my office that I also forwarded to His Excellency. So to that extent, the government of Senator Bassey Otu, the people's government, has tried its best to ameliorate the cry of the people in terms of reduction in tax. We have started with Maria Market. We are still meeting with them. We are doing like we have set up a desk officer in the ministry to register all those associations, the different associations in the different markets, even people that sells along the road, people that have shops. We have, we want to register them, have a data of them, so that constantly we interface with them and see how we can also constantly ensure that they operate in the state with, happiness and with ease. They have the ease of doing business in the state. So that is what we have done to the informal sector. So the formal sector, we've been working with Calabar Chamber of Commerce. We have interfaced with Etim Chamber of Commerce, and we are proposing, meetings and meetings that will help the formal sector to also do business with ease in Cross River State. In fact, we have interfaced with a body, an agency under my ministry called SEBA. SEBA, what they are doing is to ensure that is to provide a one-stop shop of doing business in Calabar, of revenue collection. They put together all the agency ministries, MDS that has to do with revenue collection in Cross River State. So that if you come into the state as an investor, you don't need to go from one ministry to the other looking for what to pay and how to go about it. So they are trying, but we are not there. We will get there soon. That every of those collections will be housed in one place, so that as an investor, you come in, you get there, you do whatever you are doing in terms of registration or remittance, and you do your business with ease. So that's what we have done, and we are still putting our heads together to do that. In the next 1 year, God helping us as a government, doing business in Calabar will be a loving thing. People will be happy investing, coming into Calabar to invest. That we have done for now, working with the formal and informal sector. I don't want to go into the international business. We have also worked with the Nigeria Export Promotions Council, the export committee that is domiciled in my ministry. So many potential exporters have registered this year, over 100 of them early this year. We also hosted them early this year. We hosted them. We gave them briefings and the things they need to know as exporters, so that with time, they'll be able to actually go into physical exportation. We are also working with Nigerian Ports Authority to help, the blue economy, to function in the state.
Okay, Commissioner, thank you very much. I will come back to you, but let me give Mr. John Collins O'Day the opportunity to introduce himself and tell us more about the Canaan Global Business School and what it is doing to enhance commerce in Cross River State. Over to you, Mr. O'Day. Mr. O'Day?
We've interfaced in some events before now, and she's a woman that has done so much in this little time. My good friends who are also here, ours is private sector initiative, and it's part of what I do as an individual to give back to the society. So my basic interest as director of the Canaan Business School is in small businesses, or if you like, the startups or businesses that are looking to scale. What do? We try to get these guys to know the rudiments of doing businesses and how they can grow businesses. We try to make them understand that there's a huge difference, for instance, between being a CEO and a business owner. And we go as far as teaching people how to apply for some grants, loans, balanced payment sheets, and all of that. Most of our engagements have been with some of the foundations, and we've also done some work with the student affairs, because most of the young persons who own businesses are of course students. So these are the areas that we have been focused on in the last 3 years in the city. We know that these businesses have very real challenges, like the challenge of power, for instance, but we come in with solutions that we can help, as much as mass enlightenment programs. We have another event which we are partnering, which is coming up, the Calabar Young Entrepreneurs Award, which is an event that is putting together about 500 young entrepreneurs in Calabar to award the exceptional ones, and also encourage those whom we are looking out for in the next 1 year. We've managed to keep that event going for the last 3 years, and we're having the next edition on the 5th of May, which we do with a partner organization who are actually the Frontiers. So we support all these initiatives, anything that has to do with small and growing businesses looking to scale. We are the go-to persons. We step in and then we see how we can provide solutions to them. So in a nutshell, that's basically what we do in the city.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thanks very much. David, let me come to you. So I know the Calabar Chamber of Commerce and Industry has been there for a while. While the commissioner was speaking, she kind of distinguished between the informal and the formal sector. It seems to me that, tell me whether the chamber covers both of these sectors, because the impression I get is that the chamber is more focused on that formal sector. Is that correct? Or is the chamber open to the informal sector as well?
Is that question for me?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yes, no, the truth of the matter is that both the informal sector, what is the informal sector firstly? The informal sector is, people that are operating but are not registered, are not, they are not captured in the tax net, so they're in a gray space. Okay, that's basically what the informal sector is. Now, like I said, when describing the functions of a chamber, the chamber is advocating based on the environment. Now, because everybody is affected by the environment, everything we do is for the benefit of all, whether the informal or the formal. The only difference with the informal is that they are not visible in terms of taxation, in terms of structure. They're not structured so that so to be able to access like structured financing and things like that. So that's the problem. Not the problem, that's the challenge. But in terms of what the chamber does and the impact the chamber should have, the chamber should have impact on everybody. Whether you're in the informal sector, you're in the formal sector, even if you're even in government, because the truth of the matter is that chamber is a partner to government. What chamber drives for is a win-win for government and the private sector, whether organized or informal. So that government gets,
Okay, David, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because you are closer to businesses. So you said the businesses are members of the chamber. So you are able to directly feel the pulse of of businesses within Cross River State. What are those things that you feel really need to happen from a government perspective? So whether it's about policies, whether it's things around taxation, whether it's things, of course, I'm sure a huge challenge with most of the businesses in Cross River State will be power. But what are those things that the commissioner needs to know, that these are specific areas where government can intervene? It could be policy. It could be around, it just could be policy. I know you've been working on this initiative to, open up a corridor for trade. So is the government sort of aligning with that? And, what sort of things can they do?
Well, the truth of the matter is that, like the commissioner has said, we have a very, very good working relationship with the ministry, the government, with the ministry, the commissioner, and the government on all levels. We have a very, very good working relationship. And in terms of what are the things that need to be put in place that would improve the business environment in Cross River State, the commissioner has touched on them. I mean, the issues of multiple taxation, the Kaika market is the perfect example or case in point of where the government and private sector and the civil society came together to address a problem, and that problem was addressed. The governor saw it, picked up on it, and fully addressed it with the enactment on the 28th of December, Carnival Day, of the presumptive tax law, which basically tried to streamline a lot of things. The presumptive tax law did not solve all the problems, but it was a good step in the right direction. Now, if I may give a bit of expo into what we are collaborating with the ministry, we are talking about, you talked about the issue of opening up corridors for cross-border trade. Yes, we are definitely doing a lot in that space, and the ministry is collaborating with us. In fact, not just the ministry, but even the federal government has approached us as chamber to say they want to collaborate with us deeply in driving the issue of trade or cross-border trade, to be more specific. Now, in this area, the Cross River State, the governor is very gung-ho about it. He gave approval about it when he saw our concept documents. The commissioner has a clear mandate in this area for the collaboration, and we are working very, very well. Like the commissioner has said, within the next 12 months, I honestly believe, and I want to endorse that 100%, that it will be a different Cross River State in terms of the ease of doing business, in terms of even infrastructure, be it light infrastructure or be it even heavy infrastructure. I was in a meeting in Abuja where the governor made a public statement to the fact that the Odupani power station, that the Cross River State government has put in a bid to take over the Odupani power station. Now, everybody in Nigeria is singing about Aba and geometrics today. Imagine that happening with the power station in Odupani, where Cross River State government takes it over, and we now begin to see 24-hour power in Cross River State. That would be a huge leap for industry, for even the informal sector. Be a huge leap for that. And the governor has said it publicly, so I can quote him, that that bid is in play, that ball is in play. And so, these are things that government is doing. The truth of the matter is that the business environment will never be perfect. It will always be a work in progress. So it's a matter of constant and continuous engagement. As we get better, we seek for more. As we get better, we seek for more. You are based in the United Kingdom till today, till tomorrow. Businesses in the United Kingdom are still seeking for improved, better business environments. In America, everywhere in the world, people are seeking for it. So it's not a destination, it's a journey. And we are engaging on that journey. And the present government is very willing to collaborate, and is very open to advice or suggestions. And the commissioner herself is open door policy. I want to speak on that. She has a very open door policy, and everybody can come in, everybody can present, and they look at it objectively. Thank you.
Thanks very much, David. It's good to know that the commissioner has an open door policy, and I think that's a great thing. I think historically in Cross River State, our public officials have been quite accessible, perhaps except for the last 8 years. So we're delighted to know that our commissioners hopefully once again are accessible. All right, so just to say, for everyone who's on the Zoom conversation, and if you're listening to us on Facebook, on X, or on YouTube, you can please, just send us in your questions or comments, and please keep those civil. And also for everyone who's on the Zoom conversation, just a reminder that you can share your thoughts. If you have a question to ask, please use the reactions icon, and we'll give you the opportunity to ask your question. So we'd like to keep this as interactive as possible. I think the commissioner dropped off. I don't know if she's back, because I would like to, one of the biggest, I think the commissioner is back. So one of the biggest challenges that businesses, arguably the biggest challenge that any business in Cross River State will face, whether they're small or they are large, is going to be power. Now, I know that power may not sit directly under the commissioner's portfolio, but the commissioner would be aware of what initiatives are being taken by the current administration to try and address power issues. So I think I'd like to throw that question to you, Honorable Commissioner. What is the government doing to address the power situation in Cross Rivers? A power crisis. You know, when my house is in Calabar, we haven't had light for 3 months. Now I know power has been privatized and all of that, but you know, what's the government doing to address that? Honorable Commissioner.
Cross River State. Yes. Are you hearing me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay. I want to sincerely appeal to the business community in Cross River State to take it easy with the government. It's not just only Cross River, it's a Nigeria problem. And with the people's governor on seat as the leader of the states, he's not sleeping. He is doing everything to ensure that within the next 6 months, God helping us, lights will be steady in the states, and not just for businesses, anybody that is living in Calabar, at least within the metropolis, will enjoy steady lights.
Commissioner,
so
I
that
appreciate
businesses
that.
also, yeah, we have discussed it at the ESCO. Initially, it's the street lighting, you know, trying to curb the menace of all these bad boys. He's been able to put street lights all over. Thereafter, the government is also looking at providing steady lights for businesses in the states. That we have done at the ESCO level. I don't want to talk about it so much, you know, until it becomes a reality. All of us will see it as the road, you know, intervention has taken place, and everybody is seeing that we're almost having 0 potholes in the states. The lighting problem too will be handled as such, and within the next 6 months, God helping us, we also see that the lighting problem will also be, you know, a 0 problem in Cross River State.
Okay, Commissioner, thank you very much. You mentioned the street lights, you know,
Yes,
being put in
yes.
to address the issues of bad boys. I
Is,
wonder whether
yes,
it's only boys. It's only boys that are bad in whether the bad girls too are.
No, at least
we have to
everywhere is lighting up.
the gender equation.
Okay, it reduces crime generally. If there is light everywhere, it helps to reduce crime, you know. Everywhere will be lighting up. People will be afraid of doing one thing or the other. Both male and female, let me not say boys. Doing a bad thing where we know that the light is, you know, is pointing at you and you will be seen from whatever direction.
Okay, Commissioner, thank you very much. I think one of the things that we should do is whoever is in charge of power, it would be nice to bring them up on a conversation so that we can address these issues specifically.
No problem. My colleague in the power sector is working assiduously to ensure that we have a steady light.
Fantastic.
Please, I want to also add, as one of the things this government has achieved in the area of commerce, in the area of encouraging businesses in the states, as at early this month, late last month into early this month, the government of Cross River State, through the NGCARE program, has given grants of at least 100,000 to about 500 businesses in the states. So in my ministry, I registered over 150. Out of that, 50 have gotten the grants as directly from my ministry, while others who also registered online directly to the NGCARE platform have also benefited. So that is what we have done as a state to encourage the nano businesses in Cross River State. And more is going on again in the Ministry of Wealth Creation. Businesses, the nano micro businesses have also been registered. In fact, the registration is still going on across the state. At least 1,000 businesses within a local government. With that, apart from having their data, government is also still going to, assist them to do their businesses in the states. not just giving grants, there will be loan, opportunities, soft loans for businesses to access and also operate or grow their businesses in the States. From nano, at least they should be able to grow from nano to micro to small and medium scale enterprise.
Okay. Yeah. Commissioner, thank you very much. Earlier, you spoke about an initiative of the administration that it sounded like a one-stop shop where, investors coming into Cross River State will be able to go to one place and access things like business registration, whatever they need to do. So rather than go from one ministry to the other, yes. I would like you to speak a little bit more about that. When is that expected to, come on stream? And, it's a shame that even though it's a good initiative, but it's a shame we're looking to
promotions,
something like that promotion, because we've had that in the past. We've had the one-stop investment center, where I think at the time Gerald Ada was special advisor in charge of investment promotion. So it was there. There was an office set up. So it would be great to know what's being done and when that one-stop shop is expected to come on stream.
It's okay. The investment promotion is an agency under my ministry that is vested with the responsibility of providing that ease of doing business in the States. So they are doing everything to ensure that that one-stop shop is achieved. So before the end of this year, God helping us, they'll be able to achieve it. So they've been able to sensitize the different MDAs that has to do with revenue collection. So they're setting it up. And I believe before end of this year, we would have been able to achieve that, providing a one-stop shop for investors. We are on it.
Okay.
And
you mentioned revenue collection, which of course is an important aspect of it, but obviously there are also things like, I believe, land titles, being able to,
yes. They have interface. They had interface with all those stakeholders, the Minister of Lands, the Minister of Housing, Commerce, and IRS, and all other agencies that has to do with setting up business or in the States. So they had interfaced generally with those stakeholders, and they are doing other documentations that need to be done so that we will be able to achieve that one-stop shop for Cross River States.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So if you're just joining us, we're on a conversation talking about commerce in Cross River State, and we have live with us here the Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, Dr. Mrs. Abigail Duke Orok. We also have Mr. David Etim, who's the President of the Calabar Chamber of Commerce, and we have Mr. John Collins Ude, who's the Director of Canaan Global Business School. So if you're here with us, it's great to have you. Let's keep this interactive. If you have any questions, most people here will be owners of some small business, some hustle, some side hustle or something. So it will be good to hear your views about things that directly affect you, whether it's power, whether it's taxation, whether it's business registration, access to government services. This is a good platform to share your experience and put questions to the Honorable Commissioner and other guests that are here with us. Commissioner, I have another question for you. So Cross River State is unique in itself, and there are things that I'm trying to find out maybe what is being done to promote those hidden, those latent assets that we may have as a state. It could be maybe even around our culture. I don't know whether there are any trade fairs that are organized to showcase and to promote trade by artifacts, perhaps in the different local governments. I remember back then traveling from Port Harcourt to Calabar, we would go through Ikot-Ekpene, and there was a raffia, a very active raffia market there. I would imagine that there are artisans in Cross River State. There's art, there's locally made products. I'm just wondering if there's any initiative on on part of your ministry, such as trade fairs or whatever, to promote those sort of goods and services.
Yes, of course. Before I go to the trade fair, which is we are still putting heads together with chambers of commerce, Calabar Chamber of Commerce. We've gotten a date already for November this year to do an international trade fair in Cross River State. I want to inform the business community
We're having problems with the commissioner's audio. I think she might be going through
Cross River. Mostly the nano and the micro. The business river. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, madam.
Hello. Okay. I said before I go into talking about trade promotion in terms of organizing trade fair, we are also promoting trade in my ministry by holding a weekly business clinic for our nano businesses, nano micro businesses. If do you have any problem in your business, do you want any counseling? Do you want us to link you to finances, finance houses and all that? Come to the Ministry of Commerce. There's an officer that is designated to handle that in the ministry. The Deputy Director of Commerce has been assigned that responsibility, at least on a Thursday, every Thursday of the week. Business owners should come to the ministry for business clinic, one-on-one, just like a medical doctor taking a patient one-on-one, listening to your challenges, your problem, and also profiling solution. So that we have started to do in the ministry. Then back to trade promotion generally. We are planning a trade fair, an international one, not just a local trade fair. In the month of November, we have gotten a date from the national body, NASIMA. We've gotten a date because trade fair is done nationally. If you don't get a national date, you cannot do trade fair in your state. So we have gotten that date nationally. We are still putting our house together to ensure that we come up when the time. We begin advertisements. By the time we finish with all the arrangements, before the second quarter, before the next half, by July precisely, the advert should be on, when we would have concluded meeting with all the stakeholders within the state and outside the state. We will start adverts by July for the State's International Trade Fair. So that is what we intend to do. We also will sensitize all the local government to come and take stand and showcase what they produce in their local governments. So that's what we intend to do.
That sounds very exciting, Commissioner. I look forward to being there. Okay, yeah, John Collins, today, let's hear from you. What do you think that the ministry can do to improve commerce in the state?
Okay, like the Honorable Commissioner has rightly said, it's important that there's engagement with these small business owners. The office of the Commissioner should be a very open door for any business person doing business in the state to be able to access business education, as well as other things which she has rightly mentioned. So I think the Honorable Commissioner is on track, I must say so. But what I think is that we need more enlightenment. I mean, we're just pretty much maybe 30 or thereabouts on this platform, and a few others which will be joining from different forums. So it is we cannot ascertain that bulk of Cross Riverians are aware of all these good things happening in the Ministry of Commerce. We cannot ascertain. So I think there should be more enlightenment. I think the Ministry of Commerce should be more in our faces. Let small businesses know that, yes, they can run to this office to get certain assistance. Other than that, I feel like everything is well thought out and planned under this administration. I have personally done some projects with Smidan. So I think the ministry can also partner with Smidan because it is narrowed down to small businesses and see how and where they can enhance the good work that Smidan is doing for small businesses around here. That is basically my take on that, Mr. Iso. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Okay, so a comment has been dropped. It says, please, we're still having issues of multiple taxation. Commissioner, that's a comment from a business owner in Cross River State. What is the government doing to eliminate multiple taxation? What's the government doing about multiple taxation? Looks like Commissioner has dropped off. Mr. David Etim, I don't know if that's something, because I know the chamber works closely with the government on that. I don't know if it's something that you might be able to share some insights on.
Yeah, I can, but the commissioner is back, but I can definitely
Yes,
take it.
I'm back. Sorry,
back.
as I told us, I'm on transit. So there are areas that know the network. So I'm back. Please, I was able to listen to him about publicity, giving publicity to what we do in the ministry. That we know very well, and we're going to go out to tell the public the benefits of coming to commerce, Ministry of Commerce, especially for the business clinic and other opportunities that are found in the state for business owners. We'll definitely go on air. Then I think that's what I heard about publicity in the ministry.
Yes, someone dropped a comment to say that we still have issues with multiple taxation. Would like you to respond to that.
We are not also resting in our horses. Mr. Etim there can also let us know that as at week before last, I was in Abuja talking with NGOs, that has to 6 lakh, precisely 6 lakh and Oxfam to assist us to partner with us so that we're able to bring all the local government heads of local government together. It's not a one-day thing, or it's not about just the Minister of Commerce. We want to bring together, because we also have come to realization that the local government's revenue collectors are not also happy matters. So we want to bring the heads of local government together, possibly the revenue officers in each of the local governments, then the IRS. We bring us together and we continue talking and proposing solutions that at the end of it will be an holistic thing. It will go on right in all the local government area of Cross River State. So the intervention we have done is just a startup. We are still working. We are not sleeping. So that is it. By the time we get the partnership, in the next few months, we'll do something about it. And it will also be heard that the Ministry of Commerce partnering with those NGOs have been able to, intervene further, and taxes will definitely be reduced in our local communities or even in the state further.
Okay, Commissioner, thank you. One of the things that investors coming into Cross River State would be interested in is, market intelligence. And to be honest, this is something that typically we haven't paid that much attention to. So if, for instance, if I wanted to come in as an investor, I want to know the size of a certain market. I want to, access to data that can help me make informed decisions about maybe a strategy for entry. It's fair to say that this has been overlooked quite a lot, and not just in Cross Rivers. I think generally in Nigeria, we don't pay as much attention to, keeping and making data readily accessible. I don't know if there's any initiative on the part of the ministry, perhaps along with the State Planning Commission, to put together the kind of data, the kind of market intelligence that would support investors coming in.
Yes, the State Planning Commission is actually working. Very soon we are going to launch our e-commerce platform, and by the time we launch our e-commerce platform, all those information will be there, will be embedded in the platform. Are you getting? Have you heard me?
Okay.
We are working on it already. It's in the pipeline. E-commerce platform. We're going to launch, as a government, launch e-commerce in Cross. I think Cross River State will be the only state in Nigeria that will have that e-commerce platform launch. And within that platform, you'll be able to get other information as you have spoken from the platform.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Commissioner. Just to say again, is there anyone who has a question or a comment? Yeah, just use the reactions icon. Okay, I can see one. I can see a hand raised. Please just use that reactions icon to indicate, and we'll give you the opportunity to ask your question. Obviously, when you're asking your question, we prefer you to have your video on so we can see who we're interacting with. Edidion Ebigwe, please.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Honorable Commissioner, for shedding light on your achievements so far in the past 1 year. I have a few questions for you, ma'am, and for other members of the panel session. And Mr. Batty talked about database. I actually had a question regarding database collection. What steps are you taking towards gathering, the database of informal traders in Cross River State? We can see that there are hundreds of them, selling, hawking and doing things like that. What steps are you taking towards collecting their database and ensuring that resources are also evenly distributed to them when available? I'd also like to ask that how does the government intend to collaborate with private sectors in Cross River State in order to promote economic growth in Cross River State? I think that question can go to the Honorable Commissioner, Mr. David himself. And lastly, there are lots of initiatives coming up. After your government, ma'am, what measures are you taking to ensure that these initiatives are sustainable? They live beyond you or beyond your administration, and it doesn't just die after the government of Senator Prince Basio too has come to an end. Yeah, those are my questions. Thank you.
It's okay. Thank you very much. I will start from the very last one about sustainability. If everything you do is derived from a policy, I think when a policy is put in place, it's not just for a particular government, it becomes a property of the government in continuation. So we've been able to put up a trade policy, though it has not been made public. We are still dotting the I's and crossing the T as regards the policy as a state. So by the time we put a policy in place, any government coming after will know that this is what obtains in Cross River State. If they have to repeal or have to adjust or have to improve on it, it's left for them. But when we put as a government, we put up a policy, we expect the subsidizing government to continue with such policy. So that is about sustainability. Then the other one of data collection, yeah, it is in our budget for this year of trade directory. It used to be, as at then, when I was a staff of the Ministry of Commerce, it was the function of the Ministry of Commerce to produce trade directory for the state. So it is in our budget to do this year. And we have also kickstarted it. Like I told us that we had interfaced as a ministry, I had interfaced with the informal sector, the Calabar Traders Association. So we are also documenting, we start from the known to the unknown. We have produced forms to register under that body. In fact, it was around in the state. I was supposed to further interface with the leadership of the different associations so that we begin the registration. The forms are ready. A certificate is ready. We want to certify them. We want to know them. Let government know that they exist, not just in the air or in print, but by way of actually documenting them. So by the time we finish with the known people, that's the registered people, then we'll be able to go into the other nano businesses, so that all other things the government is intending to provide. Like I said, that the NGKs had assisted, through my ministry, assisted micro businesses with at least 100,000 naira grants to expand their businesses. Those other ones too, by the time they hear us what we are doing, they will definitely come to register, and from there we'll be able to have a document of businesses that operate in the state. That is the micro, not it, because if it is a corporate, that one is already there because they have registered with the corporate affairs, and their business is already having an identity. So then my counterpart in the Ministry of Wealth Creation is also doing a lot in the area of registration, in the area of data collection. Is doing a lot. Is registering businesses, registering applicants, registering age people, senior citizens, and the rest of them. So,
It looks like the commissioner is frozen. We have a long comment from MC the people. I don't know if maybe you might as well read out ask your question, or maybe make your comment. So let me give you the opportunity to do that. MC the people, please go ahead. Looks like the commissioner has dropped off. Someone's dropped a comment saying, concerning flights to Calabar, can the government be very intentional about ensuring that every day of the week people can come in and leave Calabar? It's a good point, but my thinking is, isn't that driven by the private sector? But I guess some government intervention might be able to help with that as well. MCD People says, he's speaking from the office of the ordinary Nigerian. Now the commissioner has acknowledged that there is or was multiple taxation in Calabar. What is the current government doing to investigate those doing this? How much was collected and what was the money used for? Because if we must encourage investors, agencies of government, from the governor to the last person in the government, must show a level of sincerity and prosecute anyone involved. Okay, so I mean, my I think this comment presupposes that the multiple taxation has a fraudulent undertone to it. But I know sometimes in government there could be just, taxation. So you could just have different ministries. The money is actually going to the government coffers, but people are essentially just paying the same thing to 2 or 3 different ministries. So yeah, even though I don't doubt that there might be some of that, those fraudulent collections, we don't know for certain that all of them are. But if the commissioner is here, maybe we would ask her to, shed a bit of light on that. Is the commissioner back?
I think she dropped off.
She dropped off.
I think I link dropped, yes.
Okay.
I'm sure she'll be back soon.
David, what's your view on this issue with regard to flights? Because, for someone like me, at my, very simple level, if I kind of judge economic activity in Cross River State, I can tie things to flights, just people coming in, the number of flights. I know during the Duke administration, there were several flights coming into Calabar in a day, I believe, in a day. And then in the Moke administration, it kind of began to dwindle, and then you start having 1 flight a day. And for me, that's an indication of a decline in economic activity in the state. So I'd like to hear your views on kind of where we are now. I don't know how many flights we have a day coming into Calabar.
I think there are 2 airlines that come in principally. One is Idim Air, the second is flight that does. I'm not. Some days there are some flights, some days there are none. Now, definitely, the issue of connectivity or access is a critical element in evaluating an economy.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, the commissioner has touched on it, so I will leave it from there. For the Calabar International Trade Fair, we are planning for November. It is part of the chambers. We're looking at connecting West Africa to Central Africa. West meets Central in Calabar. That's the concept behind the trade fair. We are looking at positioning that there will be international flights. As we all know, Calabar Airport used to, but in the past they used to be. I mean, we've done from Calabar to Douala, from Calabar to Kinshasa with Nigeria Airways. So we are looking at being able to, using the catalytic value of the trade fair to bring in flights into Calabar, international flights. So definitely connectivity is a key element for the evaluation of an economy. Yes, during the Duke era, it was a bill. It maybe near crashed during the immediate past administration. The current governor, in a meeting in Abuja last week, Monday, the current governor also spoke about wanting to increase the number of planes in the fleet of Cali Air from what it currently is to about 5, to add 5 more planes to the fleet. That is to try and drive dedicated access or connectivity to Cross River State. Yes, definitely, that's something, and it's coming. There's a lot of work. I mean, we've Cross River State. Let me just, if we say we troughed in the last administration, we've dwindled down. Donald was maybe one peak, and we kept going down a bit until we got to the last administration, and now we're trying to pick up the momentum again. So, overcoming inertia is always not an easy thing. That said, going back to the questions that were asked by Edidion about the informal trade data capture, definitely there's a lot of work to be done. The whole essence of the federal government's nano grants is to be able to use it as a catalyst to capture data. I'm also aware that the state government is doing a parallel thing to capture data, especially from the informal sector. The programs we are doing for cross-border trade is also to capture data. Because without data, you have nothing to work with. So data is the be all and end all of everything. Planning, whatever you want to do, you have to start out with data. So definitely, it's a definite. It's not even negotiable. We need to. That's a baseline, and efforts are being done to capture the data properly, because it's one thing to capture data, it's another thing to capture data properly, whereby that data, when sifted, when filtered, when tested in any which direction, you know that the data proves itself. Because a lot of problems in the past is that there's data, but that data cannot be leveraged upon because it is not cleansed. So these are things that we are definitely keeping in view. Government to OPS collaboration. I think in this current administration, a lot of effort is being done in that direction. We have motion. We may not see much movement yet because, to overcome inertia again, you need to build momentum. So there is motion, and we definitely anticipate that there will be movement very soon. One of the key things that we have done at the chamber level is that we have engaged, even at the federal level, with the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, PBET, to bring the Business Facilitation Act of 2022 and begin to align it in the state. The idea of what the Cross River State, the Chamber of Commerce is trying to do is to create a subnational that provides, that is a champion or a poster boy for the ease of doing business. Lagos State is, going on that and moving, and we want to catch up. We honestly believe as chamber that all factors considered, Cross River State has the potential of being the largest economy in Nigeria. A few documents in recent time have begun to prove or have begun to endorse that thinking. And so we are moving, very positively to be able to actualize that and translate it into being. So the issues of the presumptive tax law, the issues of ease of doing business, the issues of cross-border trade, the issues of primarily agricultural produce with a view to export, the issues of solid mineral extraction and exploitation with a view to export and beneficiation. These are all things that are on the table that the chamber, because chamber is cross-cutting, we are looking to be able to engage government on the regular and also, contribute to building up. So yes, there's a lot that could be happening, should be happening, and I think will be happening in Cross River State in the next few months. I think if we give ourselves a time horizon of 12 months from now to do an evaluation of where was Cross River, where is Cross River now, I think it will be a very good benchmark for us to use at that point to evaluate where we are. But I honestly have unusual faith in this government. I am a private sector person, and from private sector perspective, we hear a lot of talk from government, but very little action. But I can, to some degree, stick my hand in the fire a little bit to say that this government, is well intended. How that intention will ultimately translate depends on how much we engage, which takes me straight away to the point of sustainability. Now, the sustainability of any policy,
David, let me come back
the
to
beneficiaries of that policy.
Sorry, Mr. Etim, let me come back to you. I'll give you time to address that point, but just to read out a few comments. So someone shared with me that there are 3 airlines operating in Calabar: Cali Air, Air Peace, and Idim. They all come on the same day, and they appear to come maybe I think you have flights 3 to 4 times a week. So, it sounds obvious to me that Cali Air is the one where the government would have the greatest control over, because I'm sure the government has shares in that. So I guess the question would be, why does Cali Air not fly 7 days a week, and maybe down to supply and demand, right? You don't want to fly an empty plane But should you fly the planes even if they're empty, but make sure that people have the opportunity to come on a Sunday, for instance, if they want to, So I think it's for the government to weigh things up. So someone feels that the government, should call the players to a meeting and, kind of sort out some kind of arrangement that guarantees more flights coming into Calabar. There's another question here. So this person says that my question to the Honorable Commissioner is, what unique advantages does Cross River State offer to businesses and investors? So this is like a pitch. So if the commissioner went to Lagos or Port Harcourt or went to Ghana or came to the United Kingdom, what is the pitch? What does Cross River State, what's unique about Cross River State that in terms of its offering to investors and businesses? The second question by the same person, does the state government leverage its natural resources, culture, and strategic location to promote commerce and industry? So I don't know if the commissioner is here, if she heard those questions. She appears not to be back. And just to say she's in transit, so it's understandable that she drops off every now and again. So let's give her benefit of the doubt that she would probably come back when the network situation improves. Okay, Mr. David Etim, please carry on from where you left off.
Yes, I would like to address one of the key selling points of Cross River State, and on the issue of the airlines. Like I said, the governor had spoken in Abuja last week to say that they are looking to add about 5 more planes. I presume that 5 more planes is a function of an identified demand, which are the 3 planes or the 2 planes or 1 plane that is currently running it is a function of the Cali Air cannot do more because of capacity. I think it's a constriction on capacity. But for Ibom Air and Air Peace, these are private. Well, Ibom Air is also a state, has a state coloration to it, but Akwa Ibom State. But with Air Peace specifically, it's purely a commercial issue. If they see the traffic, I'm sure they will pick it. With Ibom Air is expanding very rapidly, and they're moving into regional, flights also. So I guess they have maybe some balance they're trying to play out. But like I said, the governor has said that about 5 planes are looking to be added to the fleet of Cali Air, and that should also provide some critical mass, for movement. On regard the selling point of Cross River State, very honestly, I think Cross River State has the greatest selling point in Nigeria. We are the only subnational in the whole of West Africa or Southern West Africa. Only if you take West Africa, ending in Cross River State on the southern flank here, and ending maybe with Senegal or Mauritania. If you bring in Mauritania, then the northern element of Mauritania. Those are the only 2 locations where you leave one regional block to enter another regional block. It is only in Cross River State, in Calabar, that you will leave West Africa and enter Central Africa. It is only in Mauritania or in Senegal that you will leave West Africa and enter another regional block. So that is one, geographic. Cross River State has an enormous geographic advantage. Okay. 2, in terms of climatic conditions, Cross River State has 3 climatic conditions. You can plant everything from cassava to strawberries in Cross River State, and they will grow well. That's in the area of agriculture. Sorry, I just have a call from, the commissioner is calling me. Maybe she's having a network connection. Just 1 second, please. She's gone off. I'll call her back. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Sorry. So in terms of agriculture, that's it. Three climatic conditions. We have about 23,000 square kilometers of land that is very fertile. Cross River State has one of the highest rainfalls in Nigeria. Okay. So in terms of irrigation, Cross River State is not a place where irrigation should be an issue. Okay. Because we have rainfall. We have fertile soil. Now, let's leave all of that alone. Let's now move to the issue of solid minerals. There is no solid mineral from diamonds to uranium. Is here. We have it in Cross River State to what they call it now. That they use for batteries. This Elon Musk solid mineral that everybody's talking about. Lithium. We have it here in Cross River State. Okay, so these are all the things we have. That's solid minerals. Now, let's talk about infrastructure. In terms of infrastructure, the federal government of Nigeria identified very early the strategic positioning of Cross River State. And therefore, the first free trade zone in Nigeria was established in Cross River State. Okay, now, the ECOWAS, the Africa Development Bank identified this issue of exiting one regional bloc into another. The Trans-Saharan, no, not the Trans-Saharan, the Lagos to Abidjan, the Abidjan to Lagos corridor is supposed to extend from Lagos. They're now talking about the Abidjan to Douala, or they're actually talking about the Dakar to Mombasa highway. That Dakar to Mombasa highway comes through Cross River State and passes through Mfum and enters Central Africa.
Sorry, Mr. David Etim, let me just, when you say, the way you're referring to this road, it's almost as if this road exists and is usable. Okay. Now, I've been watching this. There's this lady called I think Ichi Boots, who's doing a ride through Africa.
Yes.
And one of the things that has stood out there is the infrastructure deficit that exists in the continent. So
Yes.
you hold out a map, you see roads, linking you from one country to the other, but those in most cases are just dirt roads. They don't exist. They don't exist. So, so there's that infrastructure deficit. And when you refer to this road, maybe linking Abidjan to wherever, is this a road that actually exists? Is this a proposed road?
No. The road, the Abidjan to Lagos, okay, exists. Sorry? The Abidjan to Lagos exists. The Lagos to Calabar, this highway that we're talking about, the Atlantic highway that is being developed by Shaguri, is supposed to be a continuation of the Lagos to Abidjan. Okay. Now, that's part of it. Now, there is the Enugu to Mfum, which is the road that was done it was actually financed by the Africa Development Bank and built by CECC, the Chinese people, that goes to Mfum. If you travel that road from Enugu all the way to Mfum, you will not see one pothole on that particular road, Now, there is from Mfum from Bamenda and all of that. I have traveled the backside of it in the Cameroons. The road is pretty okay. But when you begin to leave the Cameroons into Congo, not DRC now, the Republic of Congo, then you begin to have the bad roads. Okay, then you begin to have the bad roads. But there's a map that shows all of this, and it tells you where there is breakage on the road. Now, within Nigeria, it is expected that internal roads within the country, the state government of those roads the government that owns those roads will maintain them to be in alignment. You get my point? So if Nigeria has not lived up to its own expectation or its own responsibilities, you cannot blame the connecting infrastructure, because we are the ones that have failed, have slept on our responsibility. You get my point? So that's on that score. That's on that score. So
I'm mindful sorry to interrupt you. I'm just mindful of the fact that we're running out of time. We just have 5 minutes left on the conversation. There's a question for JC. I wish the commissioner was here, because there are a couple of other questions that I'd like to put to her. I know the president of Calabar Forum, Calabar Forum, the United Kingdom, is here, and I'm sure he would have loved to hear from her how those in the diaspora from Cross River State can, play a part in promoting, commerce in the state. and of course, in a way that mutually benefits both parties. So maybe that's a conversation that we'll seek to have with her privately. But someone has a question for JC, John Collins. So it says, please, what tech innovation is available and accessible to private business owners to enable them thrive and compete healthily?
Okay, and that's a good one there. Ours is, like I earlier said, we try to connect small business owners to where they can find help. So when it comes to technology, we have a worthy partner which are operational in the state, the Guru Innovation Hub. They have been doing this thing for a very good number of years. So we channel small business owners there to get technological solutions to their businesses. There's a lot of work that has been going on. There's a business analytic app, for instance, that most of our clients, they say, are using at the moment to be able to analyze the business, their profit margin, source for raw materials, cheapest prices on the social media space. Maybe like you go into the Facebook market, the app can analyze the cheapest price for you to get a particular raw material, can also access vendors and tell you how long a particular vendor has been and the rating of a particular vendor. So for our partner, the Guru Innovation Hub, I think they are up and doing when it comes to this aspect. So anything that has to do with technology, we basically just link the individual with the Guru Innovation Hub, just like we have many other organizations that we work for. Ours is just a body to direct you to solutions.
Okay, thank you very much, JC. So really, we need to be running this off in 2 minutes. Mr. Etim, let me come back to you for some just closing remarks. I don't think the commissioner is back, so.
Please go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, so just coming to you for some, closing remarks in 1 minute, and then we'll take some announcements and then we'll close.
Well, thank you very much, Esau, for the opportunity to engage. I always enjoy engaging on this platform because it's almost very exhilarating. I just want to say that, let's have faith. I honestly do believe that this government means well. But the truth of the matter about meaning well and doing well are two different things. The doing well, we need to hold, it is our responsibility as citizens to hold government to account to ensure they do well, regardless of what they mean, regardless of where their heart is. We need to be alive to our responsibilities as citizens to hold government to account. Now, once we hold government to account, what we do by that is automatically we begin the process of ensuring sustainability. Because if you hold one government to account, when that government is leaving, the next government that is coming knows you are going to hold them to account. So they will sit up. But if we sleep on our rights and go into our bedrooms and are grumbling about, oh, there's no light, there's no water, there's no this, you're not helping anybody.
Okay.
And that's why I love this platform. Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. David Etim, thank you very much. Let me use this opportunity to thank our guest today. The Honorable Commissioner, has really sent her apology. She's just called to say that she's been trying to come back, but she's been unable to come back due to bad network connectivity. So that's very kind of her to communicate that. But yeah, just to thank the Honorable Commissioner for taking our time to join us despite being on the road. Mr. David Etim, thank you very much for joining us again. And Mr. JC, it's been a pleasure having you with us here today. Just before I hand over to Kennedy for some announcements, what I'd like to say is that we're a non-profit, we're non-political. If you like what we're doing, so what we seek to do as an organization is promote governance, improve the quality of governance in Cross River State. And one of the ways in which we believe that can happen is by opening up access to public officials, giving people the opportunity to ask them questions and give them direct feedback on how the administration is going. So if you want to support us, you can donate to us. If you reach out to us, we'll let you know how. But there's one way in which you can support us that will cost you nothing. So I expect everyone here, to actually help us do that. So the link to our YouTube channel has been shared multiple times in the chat. If you just click on that link, go to YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube page, and also click on the bell icon. So once a new video is put there, you will be notified. So that's a way in which everyone here can support us. If you wish to donate to us to fund any of our activities, for instance, we live stream on radio for every event, and of course that costs money. So if you'd like to be a part of that, do let us know. At this point, I'll hand over to Kennedy Omojefe to just take some announcements.
Thank you, everybody, for joining, and thank you, Mr. Bassi. Thank you to our esteemed guests and panelists who have joined in today. This is TCRM, the Cross River Movement, and TCRM, we have a community. You can actually do well to join us in there. We have our website, www.crossrivermove.com. So you can visit our website. We have a robust website that you see a host of our activities and what we are doing. You want to connect with us also on social media, our social media handles. We are at Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook at crossriver_move. So crossriver_move, and you can connect with us there. Our next conversation will be coming up in May, and I think the first Sunday of May, which is May 5th. So more information will be communicated to you there. Do well to follow the handles and join in our communities and our handles, and you can see and stay updated with more information. So thank you, everybody, for joining, and we do wish to connect with you more and keep growing. Thank you.
All right, thanks, everyone. We really appreciate your spending time with us this evening. We look forward to having you on the 5th of May. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.